Welcome to CCN News. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, February 26th. Who won the Democratic debate and some highlights in South Carolina. Trump says he will have a press conference at the White House on the coronavirus starting at 6 p.m. this evening. The Charleston police shooter, Dylan Ruth, stages a death row hunger strike. Florida woman allegedly zipped boyfriend in suitcase, leaving him to die. Orlando cops arrest the crying 6-year-old girl. And the federal report that women in prison receive harsher punishments than men. Let's get to the news. Democrats threw everything they had at Bernie Sanders, and if the 10th debate here didn't slow his nomination, it's not clear what will. Here's some highlights from last night's debate.
Bernie and I agree on a lot of things, but I think I would make a better president than Bernie. And the reason for that is that getting a progressive agenda enacted is going to be really hard, and it's going to take someone who digs into the details to make it happen.
Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, and that's why Russia is helping you get elected, so you'll lose to him.
And let me tell Mr. Putin, who interfered in the 2016 election, try to bring Americans against Americans. Hey, Mr. Putin, if I'm president of the United States, trust me, you're not going to interfere in any more American elections.
Look, if you want to keep the House in Democratic hands, you might want to check with the people who actually turned the House blue. 40 Democrats who are not running on your platform. They are running away from your platform as fast as they possibly can.
You've apologized for stop and frisk repeatedly. What exactly are you apologizing for?
We let it get out of control, and when I realized that, I cut it back by 95%. And I've apologized and asked for forgiveness. I've met with black leaders to try to get an understanding of how I can better position myself and what I should have done and what I should do next time.
When I was 21 years old, I got my first job as a special education teacher. I loved that job. And by the end of the first year, I was visibly pregnant. The principal wished me luck and gave my job to someone else. Pregnancy discrimination, you bet. But I was 21 years old, I didn't have a union to protect me, and I didn't have any federal law on my side. So I packed up my stuff and I went home. At least I didn't have a boss who said to me, kill it, the way that Mayor Bloomberg
never
is alleged
said
to
that.
have said to one of his pregnant employees.
I am the author of the bill to close the boyfriend loophole that says that domestic abusers can't go out and get an AK-47. That bill, along with... You didn't write that bill.
I wrote that bill. I wrote the bill, the Violence Against Women Act, that took
you did that.
out of the hands of people who abused her.
We'll have a fact check look at this.
Let's look at the fact check.
Goodness.
The only thing that the boyfriend loophole was not covered. I couldn't get that covered. You, in fact, when you were as a senator, tried to get it covered, and Mitch McConnell is holding it up on his desk right now, and we're going to lose the Violence Against Women Act across the board.
Okay, so if I could finish. I have the bill. Anyone can check it out.
Right now, sadly, tragically, in Israel, through Bibi Netanyahu, you have a reactionary racist who is now running that country. And I happen to believe that what our foreign policy in the Mideast should be about is absolutely protecting the independence and security of Israel. But you cannot ignore the suffering of the Palestinian people. We have got to have a policy that reaches out to the Palestinians and the Americans. And in answer to your question, that will come within the context of bringing nations together in the Mideast.
President Donald Trump says on Wednesday that he will discuss the deadly coronavirus outbreak during a news conference at 6 p.m. Eastern with officials from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Trump made the announcement on Twitter after attacking the media for panicking the markets through their coverage of the virus. The president's tweet included a reference to CNBC, which on Wednesday morning they played a clip from CNBC's interview with the president's White House economy advisor, Larry Kudlow, from the day earlier. The rapid spread of the virus, which has killed more than 2,700 people and infected tens of thousands and more, has rattled governments and markets around the world. Stock markets plummeted Monday and Tuesday in one of the worst two-day trading sessions in years. White supremacist mass murderer Dylann Roof has staged a hunger strike this month while on federal death row, alleging in a letter to the Associated Press that he had been targeted by staff, verbally harassed and abused without cause, and treated disproportionately harsh. The 25-year-old who killed 9 black church members during a Bible study in Charleston, South Carolina back in 2015 told the Associated Press in a letter dated February 13th that the staff of the federal prison in Trehoff, Indiana, feel justified in their conduct since I'm hated by people in general. People familiar to the matter, however, said that Ruth had been on a hunger strike but is no longer on one as of this week. A Florida woman was arrested on Tuesday after allegedly zipping her boyfriend up in a suitcase and leaving him to die, all while taunting him in a video. 42-year-old Sarah Boone told detectives that she was playing a game of hide-and-seek with her partner George Torres Jr. on Monday while drinking alcohol. She said that they agreed that it would be funny if Torres hopped into a blue suitcase in her home outside of Orlando, but she claimed that she had forgotten all about the human cargo, falling asleep in her bed for hours before realizing Torres was still inside, according to reports. Bloom said she woke up to her cell phone ringing and went to go check on Torres, also 42, only to find him unresponsive and not breathing. She called 911 that afternoon and police responded to find Torres dead. And footage released today shows the arrest of the Florida 6-year-old last year that sparked national outrage and led to the firing of a police officer. The family of Kaya Roll shared the body cam footage with media outlets showing the former Orlando officer Dennis Turner and another officer putting zip ties around the small child's wrist outside the police car as she cried and begged to be let go. This all brought attention to the growing fact that NBC News reported that according to the FBI and crime data, 30,467 children under the age of 10 are arrested in the United States between 2013 and 2018. During the same period, 266,000 children between the ages of 10 and 12 were arrested. And in our last story, women in prison, when compared with incarcerated men, often receive disproportionately harsher punishments for minor violations of prison rules, according to a report released Wednesday by the Federal Fact-Finding Agency. The report from the United States Commission on Civil Rights comes after a public hearing in 2019 and a year-long investigation. The Commission's findings reflect and cite stories from NPR that look at why prison discipline policies often punish women more harsher than men. What we saw was women themselves who are substantially more likely than men to be subject to disciplinary practices for minor infractions, says Catherine Lee Hyman, the commission chair. These minor offenses include being insolent or disobeying an order or swearing. In 2018, NPR and the Medill School of Journalism of Northwestern University collected data from prisons across the United States, finding that women were disciplined 2 to 3 times more than men for more minor violations of prison rules. Women who were likely to get punished for non-violent or subject violations like disobeying or talking back to correction officers. And once again, thank you for watching TCN News. I am your host, Captivating Christian. And as always, be the change you want to see. If you want change, the change starts with you. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. And leave comments below. I would like to hear what you think about these stories and more. Alright, have a good day. Peace.